What's up, y'all? Welcome to Marty P Mornings, where I summarize a chapter from the Bible and I'll let you know what I think about it. If y'all have any questions, concerns, if y'all just want to let me know that I'm doing a good job, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, don't be afraid to leave a comment below. And while you're down there, you know what I'm saying, you can pop a like. You could love it if you want to, or a lot, if I love it a lot if y'all want to. So today we're going over 2 Kings chapter 8. Let's go back, way back, where Ben-Hadad, he went to Ahab and was like, yo, I want everything that you have. He was like, no, ended up going to war. Fast forward, this dude from Aram, Benny's kingdom, he was the captain of Benny's army. After all that, went back to Israel. He confronted Joram, who was king at the time. He was like, yo, I need to be healed. He sent him to Elisha. Elisha was like, bet, I got you. Healed the dude. The next chapter after that, Benny and his army went to war with Joram and Elijah and everything. They tried to capture Elisha. Elisha made him blind, took him back to Israel, let them go. Benny was like, all right, yo, you got me this time. Sent them back to Israel, surrounded the whole capital, made them have a famine. There was not that much food that was going around. People was eating ass heads and babies. All of a sudden, Benny's army was scared off by like a God army, pretty much. They didn't see nobody, but they heard them. They ran off, and the economy of Israel was much better. If you feel like you couldn't follow me, go back to my other videos. It'll summarize everything. I have everything ready for you. Bling, bam, boom. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So now what happens is, also back then, Elisha told this lady she was going to have a son. She had a son. The son died. Elisha went back, brought her back to life. Again, get summarized by my other episodes. Okay, so Benny's army ran off. Elisha told the lady, yo, you might want to get your stuff and leave because a famine's about to come. And it's not about to be no 3-year famine. It's, you know, it's going to be like a drought, like a huge drought. It's going to be a 7-year drought. You need to get your kid, get your family, grab everything, and get out of here. She's like, bet. So she left, right? So 7 years passed, and she comes back after 7 years. Don't know where Elisha is right now, but you got King Joram of Israel talking to Gehazi, Elisha's old servant G. So G's talking to the king, and they just like chopping it up, talking about how dope Elisha is, right? Like, this dude is so dope. He brought a lady's kid back to life. It was dope as ever, man. He told me to do it, but I used a staff, but I couldn't do it. But he brought the kid back to, oh snap. Oh, there's her right there. While they're talking about it, the lady comes in to talk to Joram. She went to go talk to him because she left for 7 years, and I guess they took her land since she was gone for 7 years. So they took her land, they took her crops, they took everything that she left, and she came back to ask for all that stuff back, or just for her land back. So she comes in and she's like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to get my land back. I need everything that I just need my land back. King of Israel is like, oh, definitely. So you the lady that you the one that had the kid die and Elisha brought her back to life? Tell me how that was. Tell me how that was real quick. Yeah, it was dope. Okay, yeah. Matter of fact, since you told me all that, we better get your land back. Let's get your land back real quick. Hey, servant, I need you to get her land and pay her for all the crops that her land provided. Yeah, get everything back to her. Yeah, everything. The dude's like, yes, sir. Leaves. Oh, thank you. Gets her all her stuff. She goes back home. Meanwhile, Elisha is just like chilling, and Benny, the dude that they had a war with 7 years ago, Benny's sick. So Benny is sick, and he has a servant named Hazael. I think his name was Hazael, but we're just gonna call him Hayes. Benny's right-hand man, Hayes, was sent to go talk to Elisha. Benny told Hayes to bring a gift. So he goes out to Elijah with a gift. This man has 40 camels of like silver, gold, treasure, all this stuff. 40 camels. What's up, my name Hayes? You know what I'm saying? Because I keep it hazy. Shoot. But listen, Benny, he told me to ask you if he's gonna make it out of this sickness or not. Is he gonna live? Elijah's like, listen, yeah, he's surely gonna live, but shortly he will die afterwards. Okay, bet. Well, I guess I'll catch you later. I'm about to get on my camera real quick. Shoot. So Elisha has this sad, worried look on his face while he's looking at Hayes. Hayes gets back off his camera and is like, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Elisha's like, yeah, man, so he's surely gonna die, and I'm just sad because, I mean that, but all this stuff that you're gonna do to my people, bro. You're gonna come, you're gonna burn sacred buildings down. You're going to kill young men. You're going to kill kids. You're going to cut pregnant women's bellies open, bro. That's what you better do to my people. And Hayes is like, hey, I can't even do that. Like, what you mean? I can't even, I'm not even empowered to do that. But what happens is he lives. He's going to survive the sickness, but you're going to end up killing your king. Then you're going to be king, and you're going to do all this stuff to my people. Hey, I can't even do that. What you mean? Hey, man, you crazy, bro. So he gets on his camel, and he rides off. As he's riding off, he crazy, bro. Hey, he crazy. When he gets back to the king, Benny's like, hey, man, what's up? Hayes is like, oh, he said you're going to live, bro. He said you're going to live. I bet I'm going to live. Yeah. Then the very next day, he grabs a cloth, puts some water on that thing, and puts it over the king's face. Suffocates him. Right after that, Hayes is king. Hayes is king of Aram. So I'm going to take this moment to like explain how things are kind of right now. So back 7 years ago, there were 3 kingdoms we was talking about, right? Joram, the king of Israel. Jehoshaphat, who's the king of Judah. It's, Israel's like this big old, it's Israel. And then way back in the day, it was cut in half. So the north part is Israel and the south part is Judah. King of Israel is at war with Benny. Joram, Jehoshaphat, and Benny. Okay. So check it. Jehoshaphat has a son, and he dies. Jehoshaphat actually dies going on like a mission, and his son named Joram. Okay, now don't be confused. Now there's north side Joram of Israel, and then there's south side Joram of Judah. South side Joram of Judah. We have this Joram of Israel. All right, we've been talking about him for the longest. We've been talking about him for a few chapters. So we got this Joram, and we're gonna call him Joey, and then we got the new Joram of Judah, so we're going to call him JJ, all right? And now we got Benny. Joey, JJ, Benny, okay? Joey, JJ, Benny. Joey, JJ, Benny. All right, so when JJ became king, he ended up marrying into Joey's family. I think he married Joey's sister. And because he married Joey's sister, JJ adapted to the way that Israel ran. Now, if y'all remember way back, Israel did not have kings that truly followed God. Right now they're like in and out, but they didn't truly follow God like Jehoshaphat, like David, like Saul and them did, okay? So like Judah was the good, and Israel was kind of like the bad, like they was going through their stuff. And Benny's just Benny, all right? Benny, don't worry about him right now. So JJ married Joey's sister and adapted their way of life, their faith. So now both of them are bad rulers in the sight of God. But God was like, all right, well, listen, I'm not going to mess you up or nothing like that, because God made a promise to David way back, his great-great-great-great-grandfather, that he was going to watch over his kids, right? So he's not doing good in the sight of God, but God is still like watching over him like, all right. So they're doing their thing, and he ends up dying. So JJ dies, and then he has a son named Ahijah, JJ's wife's, great-grandfather. So they named him after him. Okay, so they named Ahijah after the first Ahijah, but we're going to call him AJ. So now AJ's king, and he has his uncle as king in Israel. AJ is following the faith of Israel now, of Joey. So Joey is influencing him to not be a good king in the sight of God either. So now, like, both of them are definitely just doing bad. Like, they ain't doing good in the sight of God. And then there's Benny. Now, let's bring it back to this story right now. 7 years later, we got Joey, AJ, and we had Benny, but Benny just died. So now we got Hayes, and Hayes is going in. Hayes is like, let's do this. I'm tired of this. Let's do this. Let's go to war. Let's go to war. Let's go to war, homie. So it's AJ and JoJo, and they're going in, right? They're fighting him. They're fighting against this dude. While they're going in, Joey gets injured really bad because he's fighting with Hayes, and Hayes is going in. Cat, pow, pow, pow. Got the arrows sing pow, killing him. So Joey goes back to his grandmother's house, like, yo, I'm sick. AJ's like, bro, I gotta go visit my boy. Goes back and visits Joey, and that's it. That's the end of the chapter. That's the end of the story. So what I got from this was, the key word is forgiveness. Point one, you have to forgive people to truly learn from them. And when you learn from them and let them influence you, you can become a blessing for other people. Perfect example, Joey and Gehazi. 2 chapters ago, Joey was not feeling Elijah. He busted in his house and was like, bro, we better kill you because of all this stuff that you've done, because of your God. You got us eating ass heads and babies. We better kill you right here, right now. And then Elijah fixed everything. But after that, they over here having a conversation about how great Elisha is. Also, a few chapters back, betrayed Elisha. That's when the captain came and he had leprosy, and Elisha was like, hey, don't worry about it, you don't gotta pay us nothing. Went back and was like, yo, we need some stuff. And he took his stuff, and because he took his stuff, he gained leprosy. Had leprosy and he was banished, so he had to leave, right? After they had bad run-ins with Elisha, they still sitting there talking about how great he is because they let all that stuff go. And people are like, oh yeah, that's 7 years. Of course they're gonna let it go. Of course, Elisha did all this good stuff. People be holding grudges. 7 to 70 years, it don't matter. Y'all be holding grudges. 7 years is nothing. So they're sitting here talking about how great Elisha is. And because they did that, they were able to bless this woman. And Joey, they had to forgive twice. They had to forgive 2 people. They had to forgive Elisha, and they kind of had to forgive each other. Joey is the king of Israel, right? Joey does not allow people with leprosy in the city, let alone the kingdom. But you remember a few chapters ago, has leprosy. So you have to forgive his leprosy for him to even be in the kingdom, to even be talking to each other. And they had to forgive Elisha, even though Elisha was trying to help them out, but he had to forgive Elijah because they felt like they were wronged by Elisha. They were able to forgive him, so they ended up being able to talk positively about him, wanting to hear more stories about him. And because both of them forgave each other and Elisha, they were on the topic of speaking positively to allow this woman that's been gone for 7 years to come back to her home and have everything restored properly. Let that gate down of revenge and hatred so you can be blessed, but also so you can be a blessing to other people. 2, forgive people for the things that they've done, but also for the things that you know that they're going to do. Elisha gave Hayes everything that he wanted. He answered him, told him what he was going to do, told him what was going to happen in the future. He knew that he was going to come in and terrorize the people and everything. He knew that. But he forgave him already enough to let him know, hey, your king is going to be okay. That is something huge. That comes with faith that this is necessary. You have to have faith that God will handle things in a way that's much greater than the way that you can handle things. By doing that, you have to forgive people before they even hurt you. Honestly, I haven't even read the rest of the chapter. I personally, if I knew that, I probably would have killed Hayes and took all them camels and gave them back to the king or whatever. If me, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, not now. I ain't trying to catch a charge, but you get what I'm saying. I would have tried to prevent that, but I can understand that though Elisha saw all that, he also knew that God had something for Hayes afterwards. That's point 2. Point 3, you need to forgive yourself. Yes, you can forgive other people. That's hard, but that's a visual obstacle. Ah, man, I don't like this dude, but shoot, I gotta forgive him so I can do this. That's one way. But to forgive yourself, a lot of people are very, very harsh on themselves. Even though they're like, oh yeah, I need to splurge. Even though people like to spoil themselves, they also are very, very, very hard on themselves. And you need to forgive yourself to truly move on. Gehazi, he took Naaman's stuff. He walked away with leprosy. Could have stayed out in the wilderness and died, hated himself for it. But he kept it moving. He kept moving because he felt like even though he did wrong, that he can still do the world good. And he ended up doing that. He ended up blessing this lady just by talking positively about Elisha. But he had enough forgiveness in himself to be like, bump it, like I'm about to go talk to the king real quick, because he felt worth his forgiveness and he felt worth talking to the king. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but it just gets harder and harder and harder. To forgive somebody, yes, that's hard. To forgive somebody for something that you know that they're about to do, that's even harder. But to forgive yourself is the hardest thing of all, and that's what is necessary. Just because you've been knocked down, just because you failed at something, just because you failed yourself, doesn't mean that you're done. And that's all I got for you today.
If I ever hurt you, baby, right now I ask for forgiveness. If I ever hurt you, baby, deep in my heart I thought you did it. If I ever said a bad word to you, I apologize, I admit it. I admit you the realest.